All right, day 9, disk fermenter. We get the input. Every other input should be a number, and then it should be null, and then a number, and then null or none. So 2 zeros, and then 3 none, and then 3 ones, and then 3 none, and then 1, 2, and so on. So get the data. Sometimes I copy paste with a space in the end, so I add the trim after reading it. So we want to get the numbers and from data it enumerate over the characters, map, and we get the IC, and then we want to the count should just be the character, so 2 digit and base 10, unwrap, and this is a U32, so we must cast it because we want to use U size everywhere. And then just if every other should be none and every other should be the index divided by 2. So if it's not an even number, then we want to return count none, and otherwise count sum I divided by 2. So then we have all of the numbers, and then we can just add them into a queue. So we have a queue of all of the numbers that are not none. And we want to pop from that later, so it should be mutable. So we should declare this should be a queue also. So numbers, iterate over it, and then flat map, because we want to if there are 3, we want to select 3. So we have the count and we have the digit, and so then we want to use map, and if this is none, it will return none. And then it will be removed by the flattening, and then we can just use iterate repeat, and we want to repeat the digit, which is D, and then from this repeat we want to take count, and then we want to flatten it to remove all none values, and then collect, and if I save it will format, and it should be a value, right? And so then we should start by popping from the front, so 0 0, and then once we get to a none, we start popping from the back, and then we start popping from the front again. We'll just iterate over these numbers again. So for each number in numbers, iterate. And then we want to repeat for the count. So 0 is the count. And then depending on if it's sum, we will pop from the front, and if it's none, we will pop from the back. So let the digit be if number 1 is sum. Then we want to pop from the front. And else want to pop from the back. And that will give an option. And so then if that is something, we want to push it. So we need to have the resulting fragmented disk. So then we want to push the digit to that one. Otherwise, we want to break because then we're out of things to pop and from. I think this will return none if it's yes. It will return none if it's empty. So this is not necessary, but it will speed things up a tiny bit. It's still very much a brute force. And so then the sum, we want to multiply each number with its position and then return the sum. So just the fixed, iterate over it, enumerate over it, map, get the index and the digit, and then just multiply them together, and then sum. And 3 to 7, that is correct. And then for the part 2, it's instead of moving single digits, you should move the whole file. So here we have a space for 3. So we'll try to move 99 there. Then 888, it can't be moved anywhere. And then 777, it can be moved here. 66 can't be moved. 555 can't be moved. 44, it can be moved here. 323 can't be moved. And then 44 can't be moved. 2 can't be moved. Can be moved, and it can be moved there. And then can't move anything else. You should only try to move each file once. So I will just add a bool here to indicate if the file has been maybe I should have called these files instead, but if the file has been moved or not. And then we want to loop through all of the files in reverse order, and then just check if there's space in the beginning. So for I in, so numbers length, but we want to do it in reverse order, so reverse. And then so we start with the file. Then if it's none, if it's dots, we want to ignore them, or we have already processed it, we want to ignore it. So if numbers I 1 is sum, or no, if it's none, of course, or it has already been moved, then we'll just continue. And then we want to go from the beginning and check for free space. So for j in to I, and then we want to check if numbers j is sum, then we want to continue because we're only interested in space. And we also need to check that it's actually big enough, so it fits just one space, and we want to move 8, then we can't. So numbers j, the count is less than I count. Then we want to continue this one. And then we want to check the difference in the count, because we can't just swap this, because if we swap that one with that one, then it will go 3 here, but we just want to replace the first 2, so we have to insert as many none files as there is free space. So we just get the diff between these. And so then we can set that space will be zero, and then numbers one, unwrap that, and then true. No, of course. And then the old one should be set to none. And there's a neat trick here. You can just do take, because that will return the sum value and set that to none automatically, so we don't have to do that. And then if the difference is bigger than 0, then we want to also insert right after. And want to insert how big that one is, and it should be empty space. And this one doesn't matter, but we can set true just for debugging purposes. And then we break it. And then in the end, we have just all of the files sorted. So if we want to flatten that, so we can just use this function again. Then we want to iterate over the numbers that are now sorted. This obviously needs to be mutable. So numbers, iterate over it, flat map. And so count digit, we don't care about that one. And it should be the same as the repeat we did in, that was in part 1. But SD, iterate, repeat, the digit, take, count, and collect. Yeah. So right, we need to flatten it, right? Oh. Because we can't flatten this one because we need the enumerator here. Right. And that should be correct. So, 4. So, yeah, pretty brute force, but yeah, still very fast, so I think it's fine.